Welcome, everybody, to Drive Through Sports with Adam and Paul. Today is Tuesday, May the 19th, 2020. Adam Freeman here coming to you from beautiful Atlanta, Georgia. It was a lovely day today. Paul Brees is in Brentwood, Tennessee. We encourage everybody to follow us on Twitter at D3Sports, as you can see over there over my right shoulder. And also to listen to our podcast on all the following platforms: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. And you can follow our video diary of each episode on our YouTube channel, Drive Through Sports with Adam and Paul. Brees, what is up?
Hey, a little rain here in Brentwood, Tennessee, but, had the kids go pick up their stuff at their school that, was some left over from the March 6th.
Two months ago. Yeah, you guys were out a whole week before us. So
right. So today was the day to go retrieve all that.
Yeah. I went to school as well. I was there for about an hour. Well, I could only be there for an hour. We had to go on Sign Up Genius and sign up for a time to be in the building. So I was there from 12 to 1 and basically pack the room up, secure everything, label everything. That's the key. Because last thing you want to come back in July and have your favorite chair gone. Because that stuff disappears. Now, you don't have to label the little cheap government plastic chairs, but I got a nice office chair that set me back, a Benjamin that I got behind my desk, and I don't want that wandering off. So I had to get the athletic tape out, man, get the Sharpie marker. Just put room 702 on everything. Training tables.
Yeah.
Carts. Oh, those carts go fast, man. And
yes.
You don't label your cart, you're out of luck. It will be gone. Had to secure all the Hoya Nation Sports broadcasting merch. Had a couple sweatshirts and some T-shirts and stuff. I had to get locked up, and some all of my modalities and E-stem, stuff like that, get that taken care of. Just basically clean up a little bit because I know they come in there, and I don't think they're painting or anything, but they'll come in there and they'll wax floors and move everything out. So today was the day to do that, and it was only an hour, but it was a jam-packed hour. So it was again kind of depressing being in there with not everybody, because normally when the end of the year happens, it's kind of like a little celebration of everything coming to close. And, I did get to see a few of my buddies today, but it was just a different atmosphere. I think the kids are going to come do their drive-through diploma pickup next Friday, and we're going to have a little something special for them cooking, and hopefully they will stay on campus and participate in a socially distanced way. That's what we're hoping. So, but yeah, we got a great show on tap tonight, Brees. Some great topics to talk about, great things to talk about. The first one you kind of just brought up recently, and this happened just today. This dropped today. There's been a lot of not speculation, but just reactions to The Last Dance. From commentators, from sports figures, from people that played with Jordan, people that played against Jordan, people who coached against him. And they've all been interesting. But today, your boy, Horace Grant, decided he was going to pipe off and spew, try to muddy the waters, if you will. And he did so. That's exactly what he did. He just kind of stirred things up a little bit. What was your take on what he had to say?
Well, sometimes, playing with Michael Jordan, you definitely get overshadowed and kind of feel left in the back corner back there because nobody really wants to talk to you.
Yeah.
And Horace Grant basically came out and say that, Michael Jordan is a snitch, called him a snitch, who lied in the Last Dance documentary, claiming that 90% of it was, in his terms, BS of the realness in it. So You know, one of the things he quoted about was, you know, undermining his teammates. Also mentioned that, you know, that game 6 of the NBA '98 finals where Pippen's basically, you know,
A decoy.
Walt Frazier kind of, you know,
Yeah.
goes in the locker room with it back, comes back out, fights through it. And Horace kind of took it as, hey, you gave like 1.8 seconds of information on that. Listen, Horace Grant, I want you to know something. It may be the last dance for the Chicago Bulls, but without MJ, you can take 3 of those rings off your hand because you're not going to get them. And I say that because in '94, when he got traded, he played on a pretty good Orlando Magic team. I mean,
yeah.
Here's the starting lineup. Point guard, Scott Skiles. Not bad.
Shoot the lights out.
Yeah.
Couldn't play D, but he could shoot.
Yeah. Your shooting guard, Dennis Scott, Georgia Tech, right?
D3, baby.
Yeah.
3-point specialist.
Your small forward / point guard, Penny Hardaway.
I mean, come on.
Power forward, Horace Grant, and the man in the middle, Shaquille O'Neal.
And and you got Nick Anderson on that team too, who could play. Your boy Jeff Turner, I think, was on the right. the lefty floater in the lane. But yeah, man, they had a squad, no doubt about it. They had a good coach, and couldn't get it done. And you know, I think that's, you know, there's got to be jealousy among those guys, you know, and you know, he's not as good as Jordan. He wasn't as good as Jordan, you know, and the fact that I think it was in the early episodes, he kind of was like, man, you know, I had to tell Horace, you know, don't let him push you around, because he was soft. He was basically called him soft. And I think there's a lot of animosity there because of the book, The Jordan Rules, that came out. And Horace Grant supposedly was tight with the author at the time and gave up, you know, was cited in that book saying some disparaging things about Michael and the Bulls at that time, which he recanted in the documentary.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
But, you know, and now he's coming out chirping about this and that, and you know, so honestly, look, I don't know what to believe, but I don't believe Horace Grant. How about that? How about that?
Horace Grant.
I don't know what to believe, but I do not believe him. You know, I mean, here's a guy who's got 3 rings. He's literally biting the hand that feeds him. He's got 3 championship rings because of this dude, and he's gonna talk bad about him. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah. I don't know if you recognize any of the, you know, the celebrations at the end of the 6 championships during the Last Dance, but I always went and kind of noticed who were the first people to go and hug Michael after it was over. It was the guys on the end of the bench. Yeah. It was the guys that, you know, obviously there was some hugging for Pippen and Rodman, et cetera, but the guys that had the warm-up jackets on were the first to run over there to Michael and say, thank you, man.
Yeah.
Because those things aren't easy.
No, the Bill Winningtons, the Jack Haleys of the world, if you will.
Judd Bushler.
The Judd Bushlers. You know, those guys, they got it, man. They understood. And the issue is ego. I think it all comes down to ego with these guys. And some of them, even though they were winning, I think they didn't like him just because of that. He was getting all the attention, and he should have. He's the GOAT. I mean, it's the bottom line. So, you know, that's why I put on here on tonight's Hot Takes, Horace Grant, really. I mean, come on. Nobody's even said your name 20-plus years. You should be thankful that The Last Dance even aired and you were even a part of it.
Absolutely.
I mean I think we can agree on that.
100%.
All right. That gets us to our next topic, which is kind of unfortunate. And I titled it Bye Bye College Athletics. And we're starting to see this trickle down effect from the coronavirus. Not only is it, you're not having sports at all, no practices, no workouts, nothing like that. They're starting to slowly come back. But these smaller schools, and Bowling Green, you brought up Bowling Green, and we looked up the impact of Bowling Green canceling their baseball program. And I think you said Furman was canceling some programs as well.
Yeah.
And University of Cincinnati canceled their soccer program. I mean, we don't realize how much money these programs are budgeted and need to survive. You talk about travel, coaching staff, scholarships, equipment, uniforms, meals, all of that stuff. And that somebody has to pay for that. And in most cases, Paul, just like it is in high school, it's football that foots the bill for everybody.
Yeah.
So that's why there's a huge push to make sure that football gets played, because you're going to lose a lot more programs if it's not.
Well, how this all kind of started was I ran into a parent of a kid I coached, and he's a baseball guy. Played a small stint in the majors, minor leaguer for a while, and he came up to me. He's like, "Hey, did you hear about Bowling Green baseball?" I was like, "No." He's like, "Yeah, they cut the program." Well, I saw him again today, and he said, "Hey, Furman just cut their baseball program." And I was like, "You got to be kidding me! I mean, this is getting out of hand." So,
wow, yeah. I mean, and here's something funny too. So Atlanta, we have the Braves not playing, not doing spring training, talking about maybe July, possibly. Guess who is playing baseball? East Cobb baseball. Over in Atlanta. Youth baseball. Kids are practicing baseball right now in Georgia. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, that's happening. And these travel teams, okay, these parents have paid thousands of dollars for their kids to play travel ball.
Right.
One particular outfit called Next Level, they sent a letter to their parents saying, "Look, we're practicing, but don't post anything about your kids practicing. And when you bring your kids to practice, tell them not to wear their organizational gear." Or so you're playing like for East Cobb Astros, which is a legendary youth program, or Next Level, or 643, or any of those travel programs. You go to practice. Oh, you don't wear your stuff. Okay, so the organizations that are practicing, they're basically telling their kids to lie about what's going on. And my thing is, look, and the parents are up in arms about it because they're worried about their safety. Here's the thing. If you're that worried about the kids' safety, don't take them to practice. They're 14 years old, and they live 25 miles away. They're not riding their bike to the park. You're the one getting them there. If you're that uncomfortable with it, don't play. Don't take them. That should be a parent decision. The organizations are just there saying, look, Georgia has opened up. The parks are open. We're gonna play. We're gonna practice.
Yeah.
So, again, I think it's an individual decision, and I think a lot of parents, at least in this local area, are taking their kids and letting them practice. So,
you mentioned the youth leagues and stuff like that, and how the universities are now trying to find a date where they can let them back on campus. And somebody made a point to me saying, how can a Planet Fitness be opened up, or whatever gyms are opening up, but they won't let kids on to go work out? And we talked about, I think a couple of days ago, about the universities would provide them more of a safe haven, and be very more stringent upon policies inside their own workout facilities, but yet nobody wants to make a decision.
And that's the key. Nobody wants to make a decision. Nobody wants to stick their neck out and open. No college wants to. They don't want to be the first one.
Correct.
Okay, right. To do that, because if they open their facilities and they do testing and you get 6 guys that test positive,
Yeah.
It's over, literally over for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And then they get the blame for it. You know, like I said the other night, for college football to happen in the fall, you got one shot. You got one shot. We were kind of ripping on Phil Fulmer for being the dissenting opinion. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're supposed to vote on that May 22nd to see when they can get guys back in facilities, which it looks like if they pass it, looks like it may be June 15th. Phil Fulmer, is going to come out looking like Governor Brian Kemp, I think, and looking pretty good. Open the economy early. He was getting just railed by the president, and now it's looking like that was probably the right thing to do, get things back on track. And Phil Fulmer was like, hey, let's wait a couple more weeks. Let's table this. Let's vote on it next week and see what shakes out. And even if you bring them back on June 15th, man, you got a lot of work to do to get them ready for September 1st. I mean, that's not a lot of time.
Yeah, and hopefully they don't have to spend a lot of time upon, hopefully they've sent them a playbook or digitally have done some online stuff that, they can kind of skip that part. But obviously running through the motions, are definitely, the repetitions are big. And even to the point where, I don't know if you heard about this or not, that Tom Brady, he actually gathered a few of his Buccaneer players, teammates, and they did a little private workout at a local high school down in Tampa. And
I did. And that's something that you would expect him to do.
Yeah. I mean, that's huge.
He's not just going to sit on his laurels. He's got to develop a rapport with these guys.
Yeah.
And he's already behind the 8 ball, so he's going to do whatever he needs to do. He's like Jordan in that aspect. He's going to do whatever. He's going to reach down and he's going to pull those guys up to his level. And there are a lot of other teams that probably need to be doing the same thing. Getting ready for the opening. They've started to allow some people back. I know the NBA has let. I think there's about 30% of teams are back in facilities at least partially. But man, this is just it's
yeah. Well, you said
totally new.
Who wants to fall on the sword first? And that's just the big thing.
Yeah.
And once they decided that California, about a week ago said, you know what, we're going to shut this thing down until August. Now people have started doing more, and now California's like, hold on just a second. Maybe we jumped the gun. Here, open the beaches back up.
We're ready, and then they say 3 days later, we're ready for pro sports without fans.
Yeah, exactly right. It's day by day. We don't know, but we're going to keep you informed here on Drop Food Sports.
Yes, that's our job, and we're sticking.
And speaking of Tom Brady.
Speaking of Tom Brady, nice segue there. That gets us to our next talking point: the top-selling NFL jerseys. Top 10.
Currently, this year.
Currently, this many. 5 are Tom Brady.
5 of the 10.
5 of the 10.
Okay, all right. Let's get a countdown. 10 to 1.
All right. Let's go. Let's go for the countdown here.
David Letterman style. People are like, "Who's David Letterman?"
All right. So number 1.
All right. Is this on the screen? Because I'm looking at it and I don't see anything. You got the PowerPoint.
Okay. Let me pull it up here.
Yeah. Technology and coaches, right?
Yes. Okay. Yes. Let me go with
So obviously Tampa Bay. I don't know how many in their arsenal they have, but here we go.
What is that? Go away. What in the world? I don't need an Amazon commercial. Oh, come on.
COVID. You had it. You had it right. That was the right one.
Yeah, but now I'm on like freaking.
That was it right there.
I know. I didn't.
Well, you know what?
Okay. All right. Here we go. Boom. You got it?
All right. There's 6. I see 1 through 6.
All right. So Tua, the Aqua, which I love personally. That's number 1. The white jersey is number 2. So he holds spots 1 and 2. Tom Brady.
Which this guy has not taken a snap in the NFL.
He's not taking a snap. Listen, you know what that is? That's the Bama factor right there.
Oh, you got that right.
All the little herringbone hat folks are ordering their Tua jerseys.
Listen, did Nick Saban, did he coach the Miami Dolphins at one time?
He did. Yes.
Okay.
He coached the Dolphins before he came to Alabama.
He's probably thinking, man, I'd like to go back right now.
But he's got top 2. Brady, the Buccaneers, the pewter alternative vapor jersey is number 3. Then the white vapor jersey is number 4. The Buccaneers red jersey is number 5. And the red vapor jersey is number 6.
All right.
Now, 7 through 10, number 7 is Rob Gronkowski, pewter alternate. And
got him.
Then you got
there he is,
Joe Burrow.
Yes.
The Bengals black jersey. And then another number 9 is Gronkowski's red Buccaneers jersey. And then number 10, Brady's pewter alternate jersey. So
Tua and Brady hold 8 out of the 10.
Yeah. They've got 8 out of the 10 top 10 jerseys, pretty much. You got Gronk's got 7 out of 10.
Oh, that's right. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gronk's
Brady's
twice.
got 5, and Tua's got Gronk's twice, and then Joe Burrow squeezing in there at number 8. So
let me tell you something. I and a friend of ours, Greg Alexander, kind of feel like a Joe Burrow, Rob Gronkowski in our church league basketball game one time, right?
This is correct.
I totally forgot about this whole thing, and I don't know how it all came about. How you recalled and recanted this information.
Well, here's the thing. It was Greg that reached out to me on Facebook, and he apparently saw the post, listened to the episode last night, and I think that's how we got Evan there that one time. Because Greg played, and he and I and Evan were pretty tight in high school and ran around together. He actually reminded me of this.
All right, before you start,
you
may want to go back to the PDF PowerPoint there. I keep looking at we see the Home Depot. Nothing. Hey, if Home Depot wants to sponsor Drop Through Sports, fantastic.
All right, I got you. Now we good?
There they are. We're back.
There it is. All right, we're back.
It's all about the clout game. Trying to get.
Yeah. Okay. Plus, this is an easier way for you to follow us on our Twitter account. You got our Twitter accounts and our YouTube. Subscribe there. And
so, Greg Alexander, who you haven't spoken with in how long?
Oh gosh, it's been 30 years probably.
30
years. Yeah.
So we reminisce about our church league basketball history last night and how we got kicked out of the league. And Greg Alexander, who you've not spoken with in 30 years, reaches out to you and says,
yes, he says, hey, in fact, I will read you. I'll read you word for word his comment that he left for me on the Facebook post. And it was, when I posted it, I thought, well, we'll get a couple folks to chime in on it. And I actually, he said, remember the one where everyone fouled out but me and Paul? Classic. And it got me thinking. I was like, oh my gosh, I remember that. I remember, and we were getting beat like a drum. I mean, we were getting killed. And I think we only had 6 guys there.
Yeah.
I don't think Harriman was there, and I don't think Bill was there. I think it was me. It was like me, Greg, Evan, you, Dawson, and like one other person. And it may have been Cottrell. I think Cottrell was the first person to foul out. So then it was like 5-on-5. And then we just kept getting picked off because I mean, we're gassed, so we're not playing defense. We're just fouling everybody, trying to get a breather. And I think it was down to me and you and Greg. And at that point, we're down like 45. I mean, we're playing with 4, and then somebody else fouled out. Then it was us 3, and we're getting just drummed. And then I fouled out.
I got to interject something. The crazy thing about church sports in general is it's no mercy. You would think in a church league, they would take a little, a grace on yourself and your team. That never happens.
No,
that never happens.
They were full court pressing us with 4 people.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, right? Like, you can't, like, I coached a 12-year-old team with Bo Mitchell back when we were in college. We got up 40, and Bo was relentless. He'd press. Like, we were up 40 in the third quarter, and he's still doing 2-on-2 full court pressure. And we practiced that every practice, and our kids ran it like clockwork. We just turn them over and lay it in. So we're beating them by like 40. The officials called timeout, came over to the bench like, hey, you can't press anymore. And of course, Bo is like, it's like, that's not in the rules. I can press till the end of the game if I want to. He never called off the press. And I ended up winning by 50 or 60. It was embarrassing, but I was like, oh gosh, come on, just let him dribble it up the court. He's like, no, we got to practice this. We'll play somebody better that we need to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there was no let off. There was no foot off the gas. They're full court pressing us with 4 guys. They still did it when we had just me, you, and Greg. And, it was ridiculous. And, nobody stepped in on our behalf. So yeah, it was brutal, man. It was not a lot of fun. And he did confirm, Greg did, that Tommy was our coach. So you're gonna have to reach out to him, see if he remembers any other tales of woe that
I do remember, obviously the 2-on-5 basketball, there was no chance. It was just funny how I can visually see me throwing it into Greg, and then we're just like, what do we do now? But listen, if we ever talk, and later on in our human interest, later on in some future episodes about you remember that church league, softball league we used to play across the street from Brentwood Country Club?
Yeah, heck yeah. Saturday morning.
Dude, we were legit.
Dude, we were loaded. We were so loaded, man.
Nowadays.
Because it was co-ed.
That's correct.
Because it was co-ed. So, I mean, we had some girls that could flat out play now.
Yeah.
They were good. I mean, that's when we had Jamie Chandler. Remember?
Yes.
Bills was dating her, and she was like all-state softball. Didn't go to our church, but she visited every day.
Yeah.
But man, she was pitching. Man, shoot, it was that wasn't even funny. It wasn't even funny. We come rolling it. You remember our uniforms?
Yeah.
They were silver and black, weren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, they were nice.
Hey, and who was the most hated? What is the church that we just despised?
Was it Brentwood Methodist?
Was it? I don't. Yeah, I thought it was Brentwood Baptist, but
it was probably Brentwood Baptist. Yeah, it's probably Brentwood Baptist because they were the big church down the road.
Yeah.
I thought it was Brentwood Methodist or Brentwood Baptist, but yeah, man. Everybody. I just always remember we come rolling in there, cranking the Wild Side from Motley Crue or something on the stereo of the church league.
Dude, we had practices and everything. It was not.
We had practice like twice a week.
All right.
We had the practice field back there. So behind the church. But yeah.
Well, all I know is this: church league athletics, it's dog eat dog, man, for sure.
It's fantastic.
All right, what do we learn tonight? Horace Grant, shut it. College athletics, we need you to come back because you're never going to get some of these smaller schools back. Tua, you better live up to the one, buddy, because you got a lot to ride on your shoulders. And finally, never get yourself caught on 2-on-5 basketball. It's never a win situation for you.
It never is. We'll encourage everybody to click on our picture down there and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Drive Through Sports with Adam and Paul, as well as check us out on all of our listening platforms, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeart, Spotify, and follow us on Twitter at Drive Through Sports. And this has been Drive Through Sports with Adam and Paul. We'll catch you on the flip side.